This is hate. People
Glasses
who don't
hate.
have glasses. You know what?
Is
People who
glass
don't need to wear glasses
discrimination?
no, well, it's glass classism. Y'all bougie because y'all never had to wear glasses before. You don't know
I
the
wear them
struggle.
at night.
You
What
don't
are you
know what
talking
it's like to wake up in the morning. Your glasses then fell between the bed and the nightstand, and you need your
Nah, I
glasses
don't.
to find your glasses.
All your
You
life
never
you
experienced
had to
that.
fight to see.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. What's going on, yo? Welcome to episode 30 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka the Starting Five, aka Four Hubbies in the Possible. I'm your host, Varsinio Hall, and I am here with the fellas. We are 2 down this week. One of my guys tore his Achilles, you know what I mean? But he'll be back next week, though, miraculously.
COVID.
Shut the fuck up. No, he didn't.
I'm trying to
Don't be
do
wishing the
current.
bed
I'm
on
trying to
nobody,
do
boy.
Current events.
No, he did not. We gotta edit that out. That's too extreme.
Oh my god. People really be believing who got COVID.
The other one, he sprained his funny bone. But he'll be back next week too. But yeah, we are here to amplify the voice of the modern black man, and this is a Follow 5 special. If you don't know what a Follow 5 special is, allow us to introduce ourselves. We are the regulators.
Hello.
Regulators.
We regulate any skating into this frat.
And we
damn good too.
But can't geek off the street. Got to be handy with your cane. Know what I mean?
Earn your keep. See, that was impromptu. Y'all ain't even feel the vibes. But I'm here with Cleveland. We missed you last week, bro. How you doing?
Oh man, it's great to be back, man. I missed y'all. I really wanted to be a part of the show last week, but I had to handle some things. But all is well. I'm here with my guys, so I thank God for that. Hallelujah. I'm glad to be back.
Who are we? Where are we without a hallelujah? You feel me? Like
the doors of the church was closed while you was gone.
They definitely was.
Yeah, I listened to the episode. I could tell.
So was the doors at the timestamps, because we definitely went for damn near 2 hours.
Niggas just forgot, like whatever.
Right.
And CEO with that mugs, with the not the mugs, the Mets mug. That's a tongue twister. I can't say Mets mug
Mets
3 times
mug,
in a row.
Mets mug.
Right on. Shout out to the Mets for their new deal. We got the best shortstop in the game right now. We just made the trade.
Hey yo, pause. You said shortstop.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
yeah. What's up with y'all?
We're gonna start before we get to the question of the week. I mean, it's only a few of us. Let's talk about how your weeks were. We ain't did that in a minute.
We ain't did that in a minute.
How was your week, Cleveland? How was it?
Man, I had to handle some things that I would have preferred not to handle. But other than that, man, like my week was actually good. I was kind of celebrating some small wins.
Okay.
I had an opportunity that came about that I was really excited about that I capitalized on, and it went really well.
Okay.
Feds might be listening, so I don't want to get too deep into what the opportunity
you don't got little man. You don't got little man.
Saying? But other than that, man, I committed to reading a book a month this year. So at the end of January, I finished my first book of the year, which was 5 Dysfunctions of a Teen. Started my second book last week, which was
that book about
that was our Red Book Club. Hashtag Dr. Seuss Challenge. Make sure the E is before the U, because it kind of confuses you in Seuss. Make sure you spell Seuss properly. You know what I mean? So
Seuss.
So redfish, bluefish is on the menu this month, huh?
And
first of all, that's the worst one. Nah, the one with the sneeches. Which is the one with the sneeches?
See, now you got that.
That's called Cops.
That's a special edition one. I had a Cat in the Hat, redfish, bluefish. Oh, I can't say.
Oh, the places you'll go.
Oh, and you gotta have. Are you my mommy? And then
are you my mom?
Your mother?
You're my dad remix. He'd be like, "Are you my dad?" Like he don't care about women. I heard him
Maury
say,
Povich. That
he
ain't
was
Dr.
reading that
Seuss.
to my sister one year, and my mom was like, "That ain't the book." He was like, "It's the book now."
All right, so Cleveland, your week was good. You got some opportunities on the horizon.
Yeah, man.
That's good to know. Obviously, I mean, we're gonna go to Zoe. I think you have some things too, but you don't want to enlighten us too much.
Nah, I'm reading Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh man, that's a classic. That's a classic. He gets deep in that one. He gets real deep.
Riveting.
Yeah, and Cat in the Hat. That's my top 2 fuck a top 5. Those my top 2.
Okay.
Hey man, was he really Sam? Because he kept saying it the whole time.
I
So
don't
maybe
know.
he was trying to prove to himself that he was Sam.
I don't understand. And he kept saying, I am. Like,
Mm.
I think it was
who
Will
are
I
you?
Am. Is it Will I Am?
It
Sam?
was. And Fergie. Fergie had the green hand for real. If you
Time out. Oh my God. First of all, when we say Will I Am, can we just take a moment for the reporter? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get to that during Zone Notes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wale.
Yeah, you know exactly what I was about to say. I just watched that the other day.
I want to know how your week was. That's what I want to
My
know.
week was interesting. It was very roller coaster-ish, up and down. I have some cheap clients that would like to reduce their services, keep me, but not to full capacity, which kind of pissed me off.
Right.
I got some personal stuff that's going on that's going in the right direction. I don't want to jinx it, so y'all stay tuned for that. And then just kind of I got a new account from a not account, but a job per se. Like I'm expanding my plumbing aspects of the company.
Hey, yo, pause, bro.
That ain't a pause for me, baby. You know what I do. Like,
For the record, Justice League, this is a play on words. The pause is not really pause. It's just we had a pre-production conversation, just so you know.
clean
all
the
it
pipes,
is, yeah.
Wesley Pipes. But anyway, yo, but not everything, it's okay. I'm okay. I would say is I broke even. I broke even this week.
Okay, that's good to know. And if you are not Black and you're listening to this podcast, I want you to pay very close attention to the two gentlemen that shared before me, and they keep saying things like, I don't want to jinx it. It is Black History Month, and in the Black community, we tend not to want to overhedge our bets. We have one in our direction, but we don't want to be like, I mean, it's mine, it's in the bag. Because if we feel like we are too confident, oh boy,
Oh boy.
NASA, pull it away.
will the enemy come through and part ways with your blessing?
Yep.
Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
He'll try to. But God blocked it.
But God,
God be like, not in my house.
with the voice and everything. I think there's a bit of a synergy going on. I actually had a very productive week.
Nice.
I'll start backwards. So my 2-year anniversary with my girlfriend was yesterday, which was Tuesday. But
wow.
with relax.
Sorry.
We just shout out to
married.
Morgan. Shout out to Morgan. Morgan had a post on Instagram that says, it's basically saying that like when you elevate to a certain place, you look down on the people before you. You too, sir, had a 2-year dating anniversary before.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
That's
you
not
did.
true.
Yes, you
I
You
did.
guys celebrated a dating anniversary.
No.
You were a
That wasn't
liar.
even believable.
No, I didn't.
You know what?
I'm gonna tell you why.
No.
Listen.
You had your
Listen
time to
me.
share.
No,
you're
listen.
lying. You're lying.
I swear on everything I love, I'm not lying, son. Me and my wife did not do none of that. Yo, listen, maybe the first month we said, oh shit, we still here. Like that was it, because we was the same.
The first month?
After that, we just kind of was living. That Sherm days was like a blur. You know that. It was like
Yeah, I do.
And then before our first official year together, I was having a child. Like we had that took focus over anniversary. It was like, all right, whatever.
Oh, see,
Y'all know what happened.
you started a family. Don't try
Yeah, but
to.
that wasn't that anniversary either. You know what happened there.
Don't try to deprioritize my anniversaries over here. We are fantastic,
listen,
brother.
let's give a round of applause to
Thank you.
a person who can still date.
Absolutely.
Thick it out, because I couldn't date right now, and I
Especially
lasting no 2 years. This is the longest,
especially
relationship
during
I've been in.
COVID, bro. Especially during quarantine, you're literally in the house with
Yeah,
somebody.
that's crazy.
all
Talk about it.
bro.
day
Talk
long.
about
So
it.
that's definitely
Yeah, I'm gonna
accomplishment.
tell you, it's definitely because I definitely Googled divorce papers at least twice since COVID. Like, how much did this shit cost?
Don't read the search history. But the anniversary
Clear
part,
cachet.
the anniversary part links to something else that was happening in my world last week. So I'll try to be brief here. I don't want to give too many details because I don't want to jinx it. But I have taken on a newer role as a part of my job as of like October, and I put together a strategy that helped us move forward pretty quickly. With that momentum, they created
What you
an
do, the dishes
entirely.
now?
I did. I am on the dishes now, so I'm chief dish nigga. But they created a new role for somebody to do that full time, and it would be looked at as a promotion. But I had the interviews for that role this week, which and I had a half-hour presentation to present, which if y'all know me, I'll give my all to this type of shit. So my anniversary was on Tuesday. The interviews were on Tuesday. So guess who was preparing over the weekend and I couldn't prioritize the relationship. So it's like, I'm here to get the bag, and then the bag will take care of.
Hello.
You're right. The celebration.
I'm with
Well,
you.
y'all know the phrase. The phrase is, you will never lose women chasing money, but you will always lose money chasing women.
Talk about it.
Stay online.
And I am happy to announce that we are returning to San Jose. I am leaving Union City, and I am going back to San Jose.
Damn, you leaving New Jersey and then you going back to Cali?
Yep. Sad to go. But nah, our lease is up next month, so I'm moving back to San Jose, where I actually enjoyed, and there's more things to do. And if you're not from the Bay Area, it doesn't matter. Even if you are from the Bay Area, you don't really come down to the South Bay like that. So, but yeah, so that was my week. Real productive, up and up, and moving fees fucking suck. Let's just say that.
Oh, I don't miss that shit either. Like that, I refuse to do that whole like. I'm lucky because my landlord is our ADP. Shout out to Brother Simmons. And when I moved in, no, I did not pay a security deposit.
You know what I mean? Like,
I also take care of a lot of little stuff instead of nickel and diming. Like, yo, landlord, the door fell off, a doorknob needs. So I don't, we help each other out, but I don't blame you for it. That moving shit is,
bro. It's a lot.
Are you using movers too?
I absolutely am. Y'all not here?
Yeah, me
lazy.
Too.
I'm too cheap.
I did the same thing. Yo, same thing with me. Yeah, I'm not going to ask somebody to drive from New Jersey to Boston and bring all my stuff.
Well, that's different.
Like, so,
y'all both don't. But I'll tell you this: when I move, in the potential future, I'm having a moving party. Why? Because Alonzo helped everybody fucking move in the Northeast corridor. So, hey, niggas owe me a move. I didn't help niggas move about 2-3 times. I done had somebody with little teeth and big gums talk about how me and Var was cute. Var know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
First of all, that description. Let's talk about that description.
Oh my God.
And I don't listen, niggas owe me. That's what I'm saying. Y'all owe me a move.
Here's the deal. I don't want to disrespect nobody, but here comes some disrespect. If you've ever seen
not to sound racist, but
if you've ever seen Mo Money, you know that Stacey Dash is Damon Wayans' partner in the movie, but Marlon has a partner in the movie. And let's just say this person looked more like Marlon's partner, the tall brown skin shorty, than she did Stacey Dash. Let's just say that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So y'all who never saw it, young crowd, please go YouTube Mo Money. I know the movie's probably posted up there somewhere.
You know what? It might have been Leslie Jones. It could have been. She looked just like Leslie Jones.
Sidebar: Leslie Jones is one of the funniest people. I follow her on Instagram, and the way she dies, she watches the news and doesn't even pay attention. She talk about their background, like, "Oh, girl, that flower plant. Okay, you hitting? I see you wore your pearls today." Yo, shout out to Leslie Jones. And you know why I love Leslie Jones? And I'm gonna add her because she's one of the toughest Knicks fans. I watched the game and watched her stand up and yell at back when there was fans.
Yeah,
pre-COVID, and I watched her sit in the third row and scream at the refs like,
"So
that's a fucking bad call."
So she Eddie? Is she Eddie?
Yeah, she could be a coach.
Leslie Jones. Wow, we're all the way live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to that.
I forgot about that movie.
Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, who got in trouble for wearing
the Mason,
yeah.
But Leslie Jones, my girl, that's the homie. I'm gonna add her. Like, she's the
let her know. Let her know we're gonna tune in. But something I forgot to mention: this podcast would be successful if we just shoot the shit. This is gonna be a current events episode. We're really here to just kind of update y'all on our thoughts on some of the topics that have been happening in the last few months. So we've been having very crucial topics that we want to kind of help y'all navigate through some things, but we kind of just here to shoot the shit, less structure, more talk. With that being said, let's get into the question of the week. If you are a frequent guest of the Juxtaposition podcast, you know that Alonzo has some of the oldest slang there is known to man each and every week, and if you are lucky, he may rhyme them even. So
that's my Walt Frazier shit.
The question of the week this week is: what is your favorite old school slang word? Cleveland, you go first.
Oh man, I'm gonna say, you remember Boy Boy?
No, that was South. That must have been South Jersey. There you go.
Yo,
Bro.
Var remembers Boy.
That's South
You
Jersey.
remember Boy. Like you stepped to somebody. What you talking about, Boy?
Yo,
It's like you just say
you know
boy
what?
twice.
See that
You know-
bop he just did? Time out, Var. See that bop he just did? That's a Philly bounce. That's a Philly
That
bounce.
boy.
That's South Jersey.
yo, you know
Niggas
what?
ain't
This
say that.
this ain't my word, but I'm gonna add one on top. Hold on, before I do that, Zoe, you know how I noticed you heard of this? Because my man from Rucker Park with the big championship belt used to say boy after everything.
But that's because of the song. That was yeah.
He used to say-
that's
but
one dude.
in the Philly vibe. This is not my word, but I'm gonna add on top is scrap. Chill, scrap.
Oh yeah, scrap.
See now.
Oh, that's when State Prop was at the height of success.
Oh, we so old.
Everything
We
was
so
scrap.
old.
Yes, you are.
What's up, scrap?
Yeah, like
Scrap.
yo.
You know what was a word in Philly too? It might still be used. Remember Joe? Man, you Joe? You acting all Joe?
That's a DC thing I think came up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
that
I think
used to
so.
be the joint.
As y'all know, Joe to me is a coffee, a box of fucking Joe. I don't know what y'all talking about right now with this South
It
Jersey.
was a Philly thing, man.
Oh my
Maryland
God!
slang.
Go ahead, give us your
Give us free. That's what you
yes,
want.
give us your slang word from
I would say
Jamaica
my
Queens.
Yes, my slang word was probably, I would say jetting. Like, you know how people say,
Yeah.
yo, I'm rolling or I'm about to bounce or something. Or if you say, yo, we was jetting out there, like we was out, like not playing. Like,
You know how I know you're not from
like
Queens? You would have
bounce.
said done.
nah,
Otherwise,
I never liked that because see, it was cool when AZ said it in Belly, right? When he said, yo, I'm finna blow done, and he had the little baby in his hand
Uh-huh.
right before they shot Nas. See, that was cool, but I never really like certain slangs, just it sounds stupid to me. Like Mob Deep, everybody used to say done, but I never liked done because I was done saying that shit. Like,
Yo, as a kid, the words. This is a conglomerate of words. The
okay,
words.
Buster.
I know. The words that always meant that something was tough, was fire, was like it all required violence. Knocking, slapping, banging.
Definitely
He's
had to be a violent
Like,
word.
yo, what? But all of these lead to like, man, that shit was tough. Even tough.
Tough is like
It's-
you. Why you got to be angry and tough for? Like,
I don't understand all the things that we celebrate: fire, banging, slapping,
yeah,
knocking.
food is definitely slapping. You gotta use slapping with food. I love
It's-
that.
I don't understand why we had to be such violent people. You know, let's just come together.
We learned violence from the Caucasoids. Okay,
That
what
is
happened.
very true.
It's
That
an
is very
aggressive
true.
term, man. Aggressive term. It's aggressive, but it's not violent though. To me, it's just
Slapping?
aggressive. Like nah, it's not violent. Like when you think about it, because we're not saying it in a violent way. We're saying it aggressively.
The food
It's
was
like a
slapping. You say
passionate,
it hard,
it's a passionate
yeah.
way
My
of
brother-
describing something.
But my brother,
Can I get a quick
uh-huh.
my brother, why do we call a woman bad when she is
Mhm.
good?
Is it me or is it a
Message.
conspiracy, my brother? What is this? This is a white page, but it's nothing without these black words. All right, Farrakhan.
I don't know why. Why do we drive on the parkway and park on the highway? No, that's
Oh
the
my
other way
God.
around.
Travaris Varakhan.
I'm just saying, it's right in front of our faces.
Why is the word Q use so many letters
Oh
for
my
one
God.
syllable?
Yo, remember, speaking of, all right, I'm gonna go to y'all South Jersey, Philly. Remember the
Oh.
dude who used to ask the questions like that on Paradise?
Yeah, yo, he was hilarious, yo. He was
what
like,
was his
these are the
name?
thoughts that I've been thinking. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it was like Elroy or something.
Yeah.
I forgot
yeah.
These are
about
the
that.
thoughts that I've been thinking.
Yeah,
I thought you were
that-
talking about like mother love or
mother love.
Nah.
Shut up. Nah, my man's from
We talked
Power
about her
99 used to
last
have me
season.
dying with that.
what's the dude name that be? It's his mother, right? That be in the morning.
Yeah, his mother.
His mother, but it's a
Yeah, he's
man. See,
wild. Yeah.
I'll let that go out of bounds. But go ahead.
nah, you gotta go get the ball because
I'm in the middle. I got both stations.
it's time for Zonos. It's on you.
Okay, so here we go with Zonos, right? So I got this one earlier. I'm gonna go with bad and then good with a little bad and then stupid and then end on a good note. Y'all know I like to end on a good note. This one's a
All right.
loaded one. The first one, we're gonna talk about my favorite phrase. When you play stupid games, you win stupid,
Win stupid
prizes.
prizes.
And unfortunately, this prize that was won ended in death. So we already discussed last week how that snow couple. Did we talk about that? Like the people, the couple got killed for talking smack, but then the dude went in the house and killed himself after that. So they called them all type of names, called them the F word. And I don't mean that ones that end in CK, the one that ends with like ET. You know, the sexual orientation slur. And then unfortunately they got murdered. It was very bad, and the guy killed himself, right?
Wow.
Now this one, kids and young people out there, these pranks y'all be doing on people, y'all sense of humor is just not funny. Like what's joking to y'all is not funny to most people, right? So a kid dies after YouTubing robbery prank gone wrong. Why would you try to rob somebody and think it would be a prank? Now, this was in Nashville, which is even more stupid because they have the right to carry guns. It's an open carry state. Now, if you did that in the New Jersey, New York suburbs, you might catch somebody because they're not supposed to have a gun.
And it was
any hood,
a butter knife.
Yeah, you can't. Butcher knives, don't roll up on nobody with a knife and think you might walk away. Okay,
No, right.
Not nobody black, at least. Please don't do that. So, unfortunately, I'm not even gonna say the kid's name. I respect for him and the family, but that was just not that bright. Next on the list, which this reminded me of what we were talking about earlier. So, shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for winning the Super Bowl.
Yay!
I'm not really keen on Tom Brady. I can care less because we beat him twice, and I don't really F with him since he had the little MAGA hat in the locker. Thought it was slick, so whatever, right? But Tampa Bay Buccaneers have definitely the most diverse coaching staff in the league.
That's what I was talking about.
So I went and looked. We have 10 black African-American male coaches, right? But the top 4 is Harold Goodwin, who is the assistant head coach and the play caller. The Todd Bowles defense, which, as y'all saw, destroyed
the MVP.
Yes, and the ex-Giant JPP held it down, right? And then you got Byron Leftwich, who's the offensive coordinator, who, as you see, that worked. And then Keith Armstrong, who's the special teams coach. So they also have 2 women. They have Morale Javadifar, right? I think that's how you say it. She sounds like a Middle Eastern name.
That's how you say it.
Well, she's a Middle Eastern woman. And then Lori Locust, right? So Morale's her name. She's the strength and conditioning coach. And Lori Locust works with Todd Bowles as the assistant D-line coach. And y'all saw that D-line was everything. So shout out to her.
That's
shout
fire.
out to Miss Locust. Unfortunately, there was an interview that happened where the interviewer did the nonsense and thought that Byron Leftwich was Todd Bowles. Now, I don't know if he thought or he just didn't know who was who, but that reminded me, not only did he say his name, he said Brian, and Byron said Byron. Like you hear him shout through the thing. Like, my name ain't Brian, it's Byron, right? So he got
switched the R and the Y, brother. Switched the R and the Y.
He got the name wrong, and then he said, asked him like, how was it stopping Tom Brady in the defensive scheme? And of course, Byron Leftwich said, stopping Tom Brady, I think you got the wrong guy. I ain't have nothing to do with that. That was Todd. That's his exact words. So,
you meant stopping Pat Mahomes.
Stopping Pat Mahomes. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm messing up like the dude. But anyway,
right.
So that was crazy, right? And then
that's racist.
Yes, which brought me to the 2 times where I seen that happen before. The first time was when the reporter thought Samuel L. Jackson was Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh,
y'all need to go Google and YouTube these.
I haven't seen that one. I need to see that.
I'm gonna say so. I remember that one. How was that Super Bowl commercial? And he said, "What Super Bowl commercial?" And he said, "Wait," and so you see him looking in the background at his peoples, and then he goes, "I'm not Lawrence Fishburne. You people think we all look the same." Like he said,
"Wait, the fact that it was Samuel L. Jackson just makes it even more."
Because he had to go ham on him, which he did.
Exactly.
He said, "You like them crazy people on Twitter?" That's what he said. He said we don't all, and he told him, he said, "Yo, we all don't look alike." Like, yo, it was crazy.
That's the truth.
So then the other one was the one in Cleveland we always joke about, is when the reporter, he was with, ain't nothing worse with being strong and wrong, with confidence. And it was Will.i.am in the back doing the interview, and he said, as you guys can see, they were at the DNC convention. I think it's like 08. and he's like, Wyclef Jean. And then after that, and then the people's like, excuse me, Wale. Yo, he said Wyclef Wale, and it was Will.I.am. And I'm like, yo, Will.I.am had to hear that shit in the back. So like, I would have turned around and smacked that nigga. Like, what's fuck wrong with
But
you?
not the clarification is still wrong.
Yes,
Still wrong with the clarification.
He said, yo, and they,
Wale.
He said, excuse me, Wale. Like,
I was
I'm
even
like-
surprised that somebody knew Wale, because like Wale, you got to be like a rap fan, like to know
I mean, most of them
Wale
are.
or really into the
Justice
culture.
League, this is what we call hate. Go ahead, Cleveland. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm not hating on him at all. I'm just saying, like, for a white man reporter to not
Most
know
of them
that
don't
that
know
was
Wale.
Will.I.am.
Yeah.
Yo, you're more likely to know Will.I.am.
Will.I.am than Wale. Exactly.
Like Black Eyed Peas. Yo, I played a lot of weddings where I was the only black person
Oh, I
at the
forgot that
wedding.
you were in the cover band. I forgot.
Yeah, I
about
was in the
that.
cover
Yeah,
band.
that was a whole life that I forgot all about.
he was on
Bro,
making the
two-
band.
250 gigs I played in a cover band. 250 gigs,
I
bro.
forgot. What?
So
We used to want to
Yo,
link with
they
Cleveland.
love
He'd be
Black
like,
Eyed Peas.
nah, I got a gig. It's like, yo, you don't fuck
Cleveland
with
was
us.
on his drum.
always
line
had a
shit,
gig,
like,
man. I was trying to
Yeah.
make that money.
Yo,
He
can
was
we
hustling.
acknowledge? Can we acknowledge how trash of a name Will.I.am is? Let's keep it real. Like,
I mean, it's William, but
let's
William.
keep it a buck.
it's a
I
bad
am.
name. I don't know. Anyway, let me finish these up. Right.
Is it better than Flow
Cleve-
Rider?
Cleve Land.
Is it better than Flow Rider?
Flow Rider. Yeah.
No,
I mean,
Flow
that's
Rider
clever.
is kinda
It got a
hard. I
flow
like
to
it.
it. Yeah.
William?
Because it goes with
William, bro. William.
Why you gotta
Flow-
say it like that? William. If you say it like that, it sounds
William.
terrible.
Can we not talk about
Is
my
your name
Facebook?
William?
Can we not talk about my Facebook name? Thank you very much.
Billy.
I've had about four,
B-I-double-L-Y.
I've had about 4 people approach me in real life say William because they think
Yo,
that's
My mom hit me up, was like, who is this William H. Bonney on Facebook? He looks like Alonzo. I said, it is Alonzo, Mom. Like, I don't know why. I don't know
Why does he
why
have a
that's-
pseudonym?
Yo, but can I tell you how people don't say Bonnie? A lot of people say Bonet.
Boney.
Bonet.
Yeah, Boney or Bonet.
You
And I'm
should,
like,
you should rock with that.
make it
Y'all wanna-
French.
You want a history lesson
French.
on the
What?
whites?
Yeah,
What's
let me
that?
hear.
I'm gonna give you real quick. So, if you ever notice why some nicknames don't sound like their origin, like Dick and Richard,
I
or
hate that.
Bill with William,
Mm.
or Bob with Robert. There was a culture and I don't know, Renaissance, where your nickname they will replace they will rhyme it. So if you are Bill, I mean if you were Will, then they changed it to Bill. If you are, Richard is short.
Rich
Richard.
and Dick still don't
Richard.
sound like. I'm sorry.
I
bro.
mean, they're right, but that's what I heard. And then Robert, Rob, Bob.
Bob.
So-
nah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
There you go.
anyway. I'm not
terrible.
even gonna get into deep with that. Yeah. Well, we know they don't
Trash
hear
logic.
rhythm and sound too well, so we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so now
Everybody except for Paula Abdul.
oh yeah, that's true. Anyway, and Tina Marie. Can't forget. Tina
Your
Marie.
and desire.
So look, so now I want to go to some bad, which is almost funny and comical. It's not really that bad, but I don't know if y'all saw this recently in the last 48 hours, but the black GOP candidate for governor in Michigan, Austin, I don't want to say his name, but he's Nigerian. He said, I will cancel Black History Month in Michigan. It's offensive, unfair, maybe illegal. Americans from all backgrounds deserve a revered history. I declare American History Month. And he's Nigerian. So I had to reach out to my Nigerian friend, half Nigerian friend, Gabriel. And I told him to send it to his dad because I want to
Okay.
know what the hell's his thoughts.
Okay. All right.
How do y'all feel about this fool pandering, saying he gonna cancel Black History Month and American history and he not even from here?
I have thoughts. I don't know if I should share them, but I have thoughts.
Okay, well, say
Share
no
'em.
more. I don't want to get you in trouble, but
Well, fuck it. I'll say it. I feel like this is the plot of a white woman. I feel like behind every good man,
foreign man
behind every Uncle Tom,
is a white
there's
woman.
a woman.
That's a
pulling the
fact.
string.
Just like my man, what's his name, Cameron, who's down in Louisville for the Breonna Taylor.
man.
I mean,
It makes sense actually. And them Nigerians.
What's
love
crazy
white
is
people.
like you say that Black History Month is offensive. However, the first things that we learn about in school pertaining to black people is being enslaved, and that's not offensive. Like, yo, I think about it. Like, you talk about all these great accomplishments from all of these quote unquote great people that you have to learn about in American history class, and then the first time you see somebody looks like you, they have on a cloth diaper and they're in chains, bro.
Yo,
like,
but how
that's
about
offensive.
Black history is American history, genius. How about he should have thought about that for 2.5 seconds?
And another thing, and feeding off of what y'all was talking about last week, like Black History Month, just to reiterate what was talked about last week, in case you didn't catch the episode, do not start teaching kids about Black Americans being enslaved as the first thing you teach them about in Black History Month. Black History Month is celebratory. Being enslaved is not a celebration. No. Like, let's talk about some of the there's a lot to choose from, but let's talk about the accomplishments of great Black people in this country, and not freaking the fact that we were enslaved in this.
Let's be clear here, teachers. If you are listening, if you are a part of the Justice League, hear me and hear me clear. I need you, Black, white, Indian, no matter what tribe you are from. I'm gonna need you to, if you are teaching Black students, I'm gonna need you to provide some examples of Black excellence to these students. There is no reason for us to think that our history starts at slavery. If you think about it, let's say that you did.
I mean, our American history starts there, but I'm gonna give you a cheat code, teachers out there. For
hold on. But just think about everything that we've built here.
That's the cheat code.
I mean, that's what I was
it's
going.
Inventions and what we did. That's the cheat code. Just Google, nigga. Like,
I mean, we can go here. We can be here all day, but if we think about conspiracy theories, who you think invented the light bulb?
Yeah, we know what the real. Ain't nobody making nothing but no glass. But anyway, I know this is gonna be crazy. We might have to edit this out. But I feel that when we have these people like Candace Owens, Paris, whatever the hell his name is, who be on the news, like this guy who just spoke talking about that, or what's the other person? Like Jason Whitlock. These people. I just wish there was like, do y'all remember Head of State with Chris Rock, where the girl come around and somebody snatch him, snatch her? We be like, security. Like, we need to yell and they just need to get captured. And
but he's Sandman.
Yeah, exactly. Sandman them off the plot of land, get him in the room somewhere and just keep him held captive, because they don't need to be voicing no opinion. Or that, what was that Black doctor lady who was talking crazy like COVID was fake? She was paid, the little African lady.
Yeah, and
all
people,
people, they gotta go. I don't know. I don't wish death, but they just can't be here. So maybe ship them to Mars. I don't know. But anyway,
hot as a tea kettle.
So today is the Today is the 10th, right? By the time y'all hear this is Friday the 12th, but today's the 10th. This is the anniversary of 1964. The Civil Rights Act was passed. So that's a good thing. February 10th. 1964, the House of Representatives passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that was huge, major. Obviously, y'all know Jim Crow, segregation, the whole 9 yards. So that's a major day. But earlier this week, what was the most important thing in Black history? February 8th, 1974. The Untitled Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated was founded. And shout out to my brothers for chapter anniversary.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Eta Delta.
And for those who don't know, Eta Delta was the first chapter in the state of New Jersey. We were one of the first on the East Coast, but that's a whole other podcast. But what I will say before we dive into the major topic is 1964 gave way to the Immigration Act of 1965, which allowed and opened borders to people who were not previously allowed to be in America. So when you think about it, what we were able to do was to allow other people to come here and pursue equality, independence. And what do you do when you come here? You shit on Black people. Look, listen here, bro. People don't understand the lineage and the ability for us to navigate on behalf of other cultures selflessly, build things for free. We don't want to destroy this place. We just want equality. So this is for people who don't know your history. If your parents were born outside of the United States, thank Black people for allowing us to push for legislation in order to make sure that your folks will be able to come here. And that's that on that.
Yes. If your parents, or even you, some of y'all was born outside of the country and came here. I want y'all to walk up to a black person, ask them if they was born here, if they're American black person, and just give them a hug and say thank you.
Thank you.
That's what y'all need to
Thank
do.
you.
You're
I told
welcome.
y'all the time out. I know Zoe knows is over, but speaking that you said that, right? I'm gonna give you a little quick story. One time I was driving, I was in Harlem, I was on Adam Clayton Powell driving down to my grandfather's house on 110th Street, right? So I'm in the car, a cab driver. Now I don't want to stereotype, but unfortunately the cab driver dude was of foreign descent. He was a black foreigner, right?
Okay.
He cuts me off, and I had to slam on my brakes and throw the soccer mom arm to save my grandfather from doing the whiplash shit, right?
Mhm.
So I get to the light because the light, New York, you got to time all the lights or it's red, right? So I catch him, I go around him, get next to him. He has the audacity, the unmitigated gall, as the people like to say, to roll his window down. I don't even roll my window down and start saying some dumb shit. And the whole, first of all, nobody knows what you're talking about. You got an accent, right? I rolled my window down. I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? And he said, that's the problem with you black people. Y'all got an attitude. I said, what? Yo, I snapped. I almost got out the car, bro. My grandfather, he was like, yo, chill. I said, you see this man right here? You see this man? Not only is he a veteran, you know what I mean, Korean War, World War II veteran, but without him, your ass can't even be here and drive that fucking cab. So I want you to apologize and don't say a goddamn thing about another American black person in your life. I almost choked him out, but
Well, shout out to Zoe for always being angry enough to defend his people. I appreciate that. Number two, you should be honored, Alonzo, that he actually acknowledged that you were black and he not even from here. Shout out to you. You were making strides. I love the way I love where this is going. But like I mentioned before, we're going to talk about current events. But there's one thing that I wanted to, to get your pulse on. You two fellas are married, so you might not know the landscape of what's happening in the world and what single women are doing. But I want to get your thoughts on this one concept. For those who don't know, Valentine's Day happens to be on Sunday, right? So there are a lot of opportunities to show love to your partner, to your friends, to your family, what have you. Have you all heard of the concept of Galentine's Day?
No.
You were unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar.
Please elaborate.
Galentine's Day is the Friendsgiving of Valentine's Day. It is where women pamper themselves and they kind of just show each other love because they may be single, they may be recently divorced, or they may just be, choosing to be.
I thought they do that like every happy hour.
I just want your thoughts
self-care,
on Galentine's
self-care
Day. That's all I
Sundays.
want. How do you feel on the concept of Galentine's Day?
I mean, listen, I don't mind it if that's what they want to do with their time. Anybody wants to do with their time, then that's on them. It sounds a lot like self-care Sundays, wind down Wednesdays. I feel like there's a lot of these different things just popping
Thursdays.
You just proved
Right.
my point. You just proved my point.
Yo, it's always something new popping up. But listen, it's nothing wrong with it. If you want to spend some time with your girls and celebrate in whatever way that you feel you need to celebrate, I'm with it. You know what I mean? Most people in a two-income household, you got money, do what you want with it.
So is it time? Is it time for us to pioneer Palentine's Day? Are we ready to?
I'm not doing nothing with no man based upon Valentine's Day.
We can't have Palentines,
bro. We'll just stick to happy hour. I'm good.
Yeah, we can link up. We can link up and grab some wings.
Some wings and some brews,
bro.
We can't kick it on Palentines.
Nah,
I ain't celebrating nobody's Palentine.
Nah. First of all,
not at all.
It's a waste of time. Let's just say that, because like I get it, you want to celebrate and represent. Like, how about y'all just take the day off? Just sit down. You got all these thirsty Thursdays, wet Wednesdays, or whatever what we called it, Monday. I don't know.
He would say that.
Whatever it is, 2 Hour Tuesday. Y'all got a million things that just for y'all. But at the end of the day, I think that's a waste of time. And I feel like, I have a question. Here's a real question. Forget about Galentines, because that's nonsense to me.
No, we're standing on Galentines.
Nonsense. It's nonsense.
We're standing on Galentines.
No, the reason my question is Valentine's Day, like, are men included in that holiday?
No,
It's
this
Galentine's Day, bro.
You are
We're not
sabotaging the topic. We're talking
No, but I
about
just had a question.
Galentines.
But this is why this is like it goes with it because
Can
it's
I
like,
host? Can I host?
No, listen, I know, but I'm just saying, my bad. I'm out of my lane. Like I'm LeVar, stay in your lane. No, I'm just saying. But why do we always get to like gotta get kicked
This
out
goes.
or end this?
I don't even know if this was recorded, if this was released. But the episode where we talked about bad Father's Day gifts, y'all remember that?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
was
remember that.
season 1.
Yeah.
Early.
That was early. We had a conversation about how fathers get trash Father's Day gifts, and I think the same thing exists for Valentine's
we don't even
Day.
get Valentine's Day gifts.
No, like just give me a little top.
With the gift. Shut up.
The gift we do get, I don't even want to talk about it, but it's not new.
If you with somebody,
Let's talk about it.
ain't
Let's talk about it. See, all right, so here's the deal. As children, we always hated. As kids, we always hated hand-me-downs, right? I done seen these clothes. I done seen
This
these.
is not going well.
I done
This
seen
ain't
these
gonna go
clothes.
well, yeah.
I seen these clothes. I see how they operate. I know what's going on. If it's my turn to wear the clothes, can you sew up the patches? Can you wash it? Can you jazz it up a little bit? And I feel like
I don't want it. I don't even want it jazzed up. Leave it at the Salvation Army.
No, I feel like men get everything the same for Valentine's Day. Everything the same.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of women try to jazz it up. They try to throw like
sure.
No. Not it being them. I'm talking about the experience. It's a card, a hug.
Oh yeah.
Yo, all right. So my wife sent me flowers and chocolates to my job one day. I really didn't even know how to act.
That's
like to accept it.
Did you feel like it was Galentine's Day? Or
I felt like it was Galentine's Day, bro. I'm like, I got it because I was downstairs in a meeting and I was literally gonna leave from the meeting and just go straight to the parking garage. And then one of my coworkers called me and was like, "Hey, you got Valentine's Day delivery." So I walk upstairs, it's balloons and chocolates.
Oh, nah, she disrespectful.
I'm like, "Thank you." At the same time, bro,
hold on.
like, how am I supposed to react?
Did you
that was so sweet.
You gotta go.
Did you blush?
Hated it.
Did you blush?
I smiled, but like,
Did
yo,
your
it
glasses
was
get
mad.
foggy?
Yo, first of all, I got a glasses fogging up story for y'all.
Well, with the mask,
I
I know
should
that
have
shit
talked
happen
about that,
every fucking day.
bro. I got hit with a double steam glasses fog because
Steam. It has a name. Steam.
Bro.
Steam.
bro,
Yeah, he
because
said
like,
that shit like it was a Starbucks order. Let me get a double steam.
Not the DS. Not the DS.
because when you wear glasses, if you don't have your mask right, then
I'm dying over here. I done fucking mic up. My bad.
My mic sounds nice.
yo, so when you got glasses and you're wearing a mask, right? If you have it on wrong or too low, your glasses steam up. So I was walking the dog and I had my mask on wrong, so my glasses were steaming up. Not only that, but then I walked inside and then got the steam from the heat from walking from outside to inside.
No,
it was bad. I just had this little circle in the middle of my glasses that I could see.
you had the
Yeah, I was
can
like,
somebody
man, I need
make
some wipers.
glasses with wipers on it? Like, can we finally get that?
I would never use those.
Why not?
Nah.
You won't see it. What if it was just like a shade instead of like wipers? It was just like.
Hey yo, for the record, listeners, I don't know, you can't see Cleveland right now if you're not watching the YouTube, but he actually has glasses, but he has the holster, like the string.
The librarian. He got the librarian. Jay?
He has the string. So
Never had the string.
just in case you
I've
caught him
never had
slipping.
Are you sure, Var? I see a fork on the left side.
Oh,
like,
you're right. The blank
the
man.
blank man.
But Cleveland is
Oh,
prepared. If he busts a move left or right, he's protected by the string. Like it's just gonna fall to his chest.
Oh man, you know what this is? This is hate. This is hate. People
Glasses
who don't
hate?
have
Is
glasses.
this-
You know what?
is this
People who
glass
don't need to wear glasses
discrimination?
No, it's glass classism. Y'all bougie because y'all never had to wear glasses before. You don't know the
I wear
struggle.
them at night.
You don't
What
know
you
what it's
talking
like to wake up in the morning. Your glasses then fell between the bed and the nightstand, and you need your glasses.
I
to
don't.
find your glasses.
All your life
never
you had
experienced
to
that.
fight to see.
All my life I had
Exactly.
this sight.
You don't know the struggle.
Speaking of sight,
Pudgy.
speaking of sight, let's take it to a movie that we all wanted to speak about, which had a lot to do with, social inequality. Zoe mentioned that, his grandfather fought in the war and kind of came back to some, inhumane conditions.
Mhm.
It's about American Skin. If we've seen the movie American Skin, very thought-provoking movie, very, very great movie, written and directed by Nate Parker of the Birth of a Nation fame. Amazing movie. And I don't want to give too much I don't want to give too much of it up, but I wanted to know y'all's thoughts on the movie.
Wait, let me ask you a question. When did it drop?
It came out first week in Feb, maybe?
No.
Maybe like 2 weeks ago?
This-
like 2 weeks ago.
No, it was in
Nah,
January.
son, I saw that longer than that. It's like 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say 3 weeks ago, yeah.
All right, well then that's long enough. People need this is the modern day 2021. Y'all saw it already. If y'all didn't, too bad. So sad.
Right,
So
right.
talk about it.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
I don't
alert.
care. I don't care. Y'all should have saw that. It should have been in y'all watch list day one.
Yes.
I thought it was a great movie. Specifically, it evoked emotion clearly because it's talking about things that we're literally experiencing now. Yo, you know what's crazy? And I was talking to my daughter about this too. It's one thing to watch a movie from during the times of the civil rights movement, right? And you're looking back in the day. It's another thing to watch a movie about what you're experiencing right now. I thought
and
that was
there's no
so
timetable.
wild.
There's no timetable as to when it's over. It's literally
Exactly.
happening right now. So from a high level, y'all, let me explain like Zoe makes a good point. You should have probably seen it already. From a high level, there's this movie American Skin is about a father who was seeking redemption for the death of his son. Unfortunately, his son was murdered by the police while there was a routine traffic stop. So what transpires is the dad seeks to get revenge and or redemption in whatever way he sees fit. There is a plot twist at the end, and I will leave that for you, but he is really just seeking to make an example of how we feel to the police department and to explain how structural racism works. So I want to give a high level overview of what,
Well, all I want to say is that I wish that more of those would happen. Maybe the message would get across. I can't say I'm condoning things and violence, but I am for that situation, because if that happened more often, like every single time, it wouldn't be every single time, because they know, like, oh shit, this
goes
happen.
to one of your favorite rap lyrics. How are you, Lil Wayne? So I'm a Libra, so my sign is a scale.
And if it don't measure up,
the nigga getting
killed. That's it. So what that movie showed was what I thought and wish would happen more often, and maybe it will prevent, because my theory for the longest time was like, yo, people don't learn from being told, they learn from being showed. Like they gotta, I don't want to offend my white listeners, I love y'all, but sometimes y'all won't understand black pain until you experience pain.
Right.
So I don't want you to experience pain, but if you are part of the cause of it or something like that, maybe you might understand it more. Like you don't know something until you've experienced it in that arena. So
what I loved about the movie is all of the different perspectives that were shown during the course of the movie. You had the perspective of kind of white people who are kind of sheltered and live on the sidelines and don't really understand how things work for black people in this country. You had the perspective of other white people who are more kind of swing towards allies. You had the perspective of people who were locked up and incarcerated, and you had the perspective of people who grew up black people who grew up in the suburbs.
Yes.
And their perspective on things. I thought it was so cool how like there was one scene where everybody was kind of offering their perspective. What was cool about it is that the perspective from some of the white characters in there is the perspective of a lot of white people in this country who
100%.
see things through one lens and only see things through one way. One thing that I spoke about this at my job, and one of the things that I feel that a lot of people who are white do not understand. They think that the people who get harassed by police officers are a certain kind of person. Yeah, a certain kind of black person. It would never happen to the black people that they know. It wouldn't happen to Var. It wouldn't happen to Alonzo. No, Cleveland, it couldn't happen to you. No, it has happened to us several different times.
Bro,
like
the FX
we're not
series,
exempt.
The FX series with the OJ joint showed Johnny Cochran getting harassed by LAPD.
Right.
And they didn't even care who he was. Like, he's showing the ID. They're like, yo, you who? They don't care. So it didn't matter.
And if you think about the totem pole, if we really dive deep into it, and this is shout out to my man Chris. This is not about him, but when you think about let's think about the organizational structure at work, right? You have people who make decisions, you have more people who execute, right? No pun intended. Police execute the laws of the land. They don't make them, they execute, and they have the ability to manipulate the laws as they see fit because they're vague enough to do so. And I think that imagine your job and the person who you are mandating to execute the strategy that was put out by you and your stakeholders. If the people who begin to execute begin to manipulate everybody else, it's like, you don't have power. How are you doing
the problem
this?
is not them executing the law, the street law. It's the problem of them executing the judge's job.
Right. Yes.
The judge,
right.
jury,
that's
and
exactly.
the judge, jury, and execute. See, now it's you're now
doing the job of the owner,
else's,
so to speak.
Yeah, you're
right.
doing someone else's, a couple of people's jobs in one. You're being judge, jury, and executioner. That's not your role. Your role is bring the motherfucker in. That's it.
Right.
If it takes that. Now, if it's they threaten you and shoot at you, whatever, cops gotta think like when you was a little kid. You know the rule, like yo, don't hit you till somebody hit you. Don't hit nobody until they hit you. You have to look at it like that. Like you don't shoot first. I mean, they say they've been trained to defend and thinking. I mean, listen, we can go about that all day, but at the end of the day, 90% of the time, if you just do the job to get the person the same way y'all do all of like Dylan Roofs and people like that, I think we would, and let the judge and the jury and everyone else decide. That's the problem. Y'all like, nah, I'm gonna just take it into my own hands.
One of the things that really stood out to me in this movie, and I know we've been on this topic for a minute, but one of the things that really stood out to me in that movie is how his son, when they were doing the flashbacks, and they were showing how his son thought, like very practically, like, oh, well, no, I'm allowed to do this. And like having because of the law, but having a child that was around his son's age that thinks very much like his son thinks, having that conversation that those rules don't apply to you type of conversations is heart-wrenching to have. Like, yes, that's true, but that rule doesn't apply to you. Yes, you're right. But you need to just make it. It's crazy.
I heard the actual inspiration. Have y'all watched any interviews with him?
Yeah, we talk about his nephew.
I haven't. Yeah, so I just go over it. So basically, he said that the inspiration for the entire movie was based on his nephew. He got custody of his nephew, and he doesn't have any birth sons, so his nephew kind of is like his son. So he took his nephew from I don't want to say like an inner city area,
East Coast. I think it was like Virginia or something.
Right. So and he brought him out to California, living in the suburbs, better schools, what have you. And this was his word. He said he literally brought him from the frying pan to the fire. And he had a new set of challenges when he was in this affluent area. And with that was around the same time as Mike Brown. So his nephew asked him, what am I to do in a situation like that? And everything that he was describing, he called himself saying it. It was like demoralizing. Like, look him in the eye, show me humanity, put your hands behind your back, comply. And he was just like, in his head, he's like, this goes against everything that I taught you in terms of like dignity and being a man. And he was like, that was the origin of the story for the movie. And that's based on real life. And
he said he was, at first, his first thought was just to tell him like, or just tell them who I am, like who you live with. Right. And he thought about it like, that ain't gonna work. Yeah.
Like, you mean Nat Turner? Oh, no, you definitely getting booked. Yeah, man. I definitely recommend everybody get a chance to take a look at American Skin. It is on Amazon Prime. You can rent it for like $6. At least when I watched it, you could.
Oh, and coming up, we got 2 other Black History movies that's coming out too. One is very influential. And it's based off a true story, which is Judas and the Messiah versus the Black Messiah, which is a story about the infiltration of the Black Panthers and pretty much the assassination of Fred Hampton. So,
yep, COINTELPRO.
Yeah, and so y'all definitely got to watch that. And then Coming to America
Coming to America.
You said 3.
Yeah, 2. Coming to America 2. Y'all got to get ready. See, so watch American Skin, watch Judas versus the Black Messiah, and then you could lighten up your mood in the month with Coming to America.
Coming to America.
Zoe, I know you've seen a Wendy Williams movie.
Nope, absolutely not.
Me
I
either.
did see the controversy with
No desire.
Meth and the wife and Method Man wife. Like, I'm had enough of your dumb ass.
See, let's talk about that for a second. Not. Let's talk about it in the biblical context, Cleveland. About you reap what you sow. You know, in terms of what you provide to the world. Let's use Wendy Williams as an example. Let's use the shell of her story. Her day job is to take the misery of other people and to blast it and to make it entertainment. I feel like that's a skeleton of what she does. Does she do it? Does she do it in an artful and masterful way? Sure. But if that is your day job, what is to be expected from a reap what you sow perspective when you are to put your story out years later? Do you think that you'll gain sympathy or empathy from people?
You know what? I think to an extent, I don't really follow her closely, but like I've seen things that people have posted and things of that nature. And I see a lot of people coming to her defense when she's lately has done or said something crazy because of what she went through with her husband, right? And my thing is this: to your point, you literally built a career from other people's misery, other people's secrets, other people's so you can't really expect now for people to exercise grace towards you when you publicly are going through something very embarrassing, because you didn't extend that grace to other people. As a matter of fact, you built your platform on the expense of the drama and secrets of everyone else.
But the craziest part, I ain't cut you off, but that, like you said, she released that Method Man's wife had the cancer before she even told her own family.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. Yo,
man,
so
she should have got fired up on.
That's the thing. It's like, and that's the thing. I'm not saying I'm nobody's judge, right? I can't judge how somebody should be treated or what should be the repercussions for anyone's actions. However, you can't, if you didn't give grace, it's hard to demand it in this point, no matter what the situation is, no matter what your health situation is or your financial situation is or your mental stability. You never extended grace to people, so you can't expect it back.
The great philosopher and prophet Earl Simmons, also known as DMX, says, and I quote, "You do dirt, you get dirt."
Wow.
Period.
I'm with it.
You get dirt. That's a fact.
I don't know. I didn't want to stay here too long, but I kind of wanted to just to highlight it because it was an important enough topic on the timeline. Something else that happened a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to speak about. I don't want to take up too much time here either. Is the whole did y'all hear about that DaniLeigh situation when she called herself a yellow bone?
I did hear something about it, but I'm yellow, so I can't really talk.
Oh my God! But you're
right
also
on,
black.
sis. Right on.
Shut up. Here's where I take the conversation.
Was it offensive? I don't know.
Yes, it was. I'm gonna tell you. So the thing that was happening was she had a song called it's a song about yellow bone, right? Celebrating being yellow, right? But I think the miss was light-skinned women kind of have a privilege, or they are preferred in most aspects, especially in the entertainment business. So there's almost no need to celebrate as much in that vein as it would be. And she compared it to like, well, brown-skinned girls got songs about them, but it's like, but they're slighted. It's like you need to uplift in that regard, but nobody's going around saying like, yeah, man, us tall dudes need to stand up for each other. Like, bro, you are 6'3".
As the resident light-skinned person on the pod right now, I get exactly what you're saying. Dark-skinned people more slighted. You know what I mean? X, Y, and Z.
Women
However,
in particular.
Yeah,
women.
Brown
women. Yeah.
Dark-skinned women, brown-skinned women. However, as a light-skinned person, it is a little difficult because we have to fight twice. You're not black enough for black people, and you ain't white. So it's like,
no, you're
maybe
right.
That's how she was feeling. Maybe she was on like her on. That's why light skinned people are always so militant, because we got to show to everybody else like, nah, son, I'm black. And then
I never
but
felt
she's
that
Dominican,
a light skinned person.
For the record,
that's what I was gonna ask. Like,
not all of them. So here's some context. So she's with the baby, right? She's with he's brown skin, the baby. he's a brown skin guy, right? But also with that, he just parted ways with his with the mother of his kids,
Birth
who's
mom,
also
yeah.
brown skinned. And in the song, she says like he had to make a switch to a lit bitch, right? So that signifies, it kind of tells you the underlying tone of making
she
the
should have
switch.
left that alone.
But that kind of tells you where the origins of the song come from, like where she's celebrating being yellow, and she's talking about making a switch. So it's like he made a switch. So
But do y'all think that, or you think you look into maybe she was just
No,
mad
bro.
because that's the ex, like
Nope.
with
I
anybody?
haven't listen. I haven't
No,
heard
I
the
haven't heard it.
song.
Me neither.
I haven't
I
heard
heard
the
about
song.
the controversy. I'm just telling you from my light skin perspective that we get that a lot. Where they start, even when black people joke on me,
Hey yo,
it don't even be nothing light skin.
you ever been called black and purple?
No, but I've been called shit that's white, and I'm not white.
You ever been called an alternate Laker jersey? You ain't never been called an alternate Laker jersey.
No, but like I said, I've been called shit that's white. That's not even. Yo, you look like
Oh,
the wall.
man.
You so light, bright, and white.
You look like the wall.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Like you can't even, like at least give me something with the tone or hue.
Pain.
Yeah, like I get
Look
it.
like the
Don't get it
wall.
twisted, but like I've gotten it from both. Like, don't get it twisted.
man.
White people like you're not even that black. You and I'm like,
See,
what?
that's Jackson,
That's-
New Jersey.
that's
That's
crazy.
Jackson. That ain't
I mean, yes, I've heard that in Jackson, but I'm saying I've even heard that.
like,
in Ryder.
and you live in a trailer park. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Nigga, like, go move your house.
I get that. You know what? Ultimately, I get the stance of like, if you've been oppressed or put down or diminished because of the color of your skin, like the shade of your skin, it is kind of equivalent to like racism, where like, you know, somebody saying like, oh, I'm so proud to be white, it sounds racist. But if you say I'm proud to be black, it doesn't sound racist because
No.
we've been discriminated against because we are black.
there's a deficit.
So like I can see it in both ways, but at the same time, you got rappers that hype up yellow bones, right?
But that's what I'm saying.
Or
but that's-
Redbone.
But this is the thing. There is already a
Wayne said
lane
it.
of celebration for them. Like there is a lane. They're already propped up. So you're the most truest. Speaking of Dr. Seuss, you're the most truest you I've ever
Here
met
we
in my
go.
life, right?
Mhm.
Nobody is like more themselves in many ways than Zoe is. I have
I don't know how
never
to take that, but thank you.
listen. I've never heard you mention or say, "Yeah, thank God I'm light skinned." Like, or man,
That's crazy.
like, but you understand the historical context.
Well, that's
of
because
black people.
my immediate family is like rolling the dice. Like how am I hate on dark skin and my dad's dark skin, my sister dark skin and brown
I
skin.
mean,
you see my family tree. Y'all been to my
But
parents. and my
sometimes that
family
don't matter, man.
They don't. It
Sometimes
don't.
that does not matter.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
almost
true.
like if you are a, let's say a white, because you know it's black and white Dominicans. Ain't no
Yeah.
in between, right? If
Yeah.
you
The
are a
Sammy
lighter,
Sosas.
if you are a lighter skinned Dominican person and you are celebrating being a yellow bone, which is not even linked to your heritage, then it's the equivalent of like white student union. Like you don't need
Nah,
it.
that's the KKK.
don't
But
need a
bro,
white student
all right.
union,
So
you don't.
when and this is where it gets really tricky, right? This
You
is
don't
where it
need a white
gets really
student union.
tricky. So not linked to your heritage.
White
There's a
history month.
lot of people like Latino people who were born and raised around
Latinx.
black people and in a black culture
Yeah.
that
Yes.
feel just as much a part as black American culture
Bronx
as
and
we feel.
Harlem Puerto Ricans.
But
Look at Fat Joe, right? Fat
But
Joe is a prime
no,
example.
no. So y'all see, I gotta go deep now because y'all, I need the listeners to know that I have a level of understanding of this in many different facets. You cannot be a person who identifies as Dominican and actively practice anti-blackness and then say things that we say.
But
And
time
I
out,
don't know that about her.
Time out, does she practice anti-blackness?
Yeah,
How?
but this. I mean, I'm not going to have a
But
whole
that's what I'm saying.
discussion.
You can't. Though we have to have
No,
examples
no.
of what she's done to practice that. Like he was saying, Fat Joe. Fat Joe don't practice anti-blackness.
Nah,
At
he
all.
don't. But also, Fat Joe don't get into the colorism space either.
No, but he's kind of on audio and said and on video said, "Yo, why do y'all do that? We are black." Like Puerto
No,
Ricans is black.
100%.
Like he's admitted that he's a ethnic descendant of a black African slave. Like he knows that.
But Fat Joe acknowledges the fact that the lineage between Puerto Rican people and African slaves, you have to make the connection between your folks and Black people in order to be able to acculturate yourself to our situation. To be honest, even the whole yellow bone shit is like it's more red bone than it is yellow bone. That's really
But
like
the phrase
a
was
fringe.
red bone.
It
Yeah.
is. That's what it's more of
Yeah,
a
yellow
fringe
bone,
thing.
yeah.
So it's almost like you are invited as a +1 and you fuck the party up. It's like you
But
are
I
a
need more
+1.
examples than her just making the name of a song wrong. She fucked it up. Like Homeboy said, Will I Am, and I mean he said Why Clef. Like I feel like that. I don't know because we don't know her. I need to see her history in that aspect of it because if she already assumes and understands what she is and what her genetic makeup is, and her saying that is like me just joking with y'all saying it. Now, granted, it's a public song. I don't think I would never, like you said, I personally would never say nothing like that or do that because that's just
Right.
not how I feel. But some people, maybe to her was like, you know, maybe she did think on the, you see, sometimes we give people too much that they premeditated and thought it out. I don't think a lot of, I don't give
no.
people the
I
credit
don't
that they
think she
actually
thought it
thought.
out. I
I
think
don't
it's
think
the
they thought
opposite.
anything. I think she literally thought on face value, damn, they got a song for brown skin girls, and I'm not really brown, but like, cool. Let me do something like on some super superficial face value on the
Right.
surface.
And
But
guess
I don't-
what?
But it didn't
It
work out
fell.
for her.
It fell on
didn't
his
work out for
face.
her. But I'm saying her intentions, I don't know that was her intentions or it was that deep.
If in the song you're speaking about the man that you're with making a switch from a brown skinned woman to a light skinned woman, in the context of the song, it's called Yellow Bone. You were talking about he made the switch. If I'm
That's where it really gets.
if the song is
deep.
about cell phone bills, and I'm talking about the song is about AT&T, I'm talking about we made the switch. You came from Verizon or T-Mobile.
Var,
Like,
you had every service provider possible in
did.
college. Though, so.
I did.
You even had singular, nigga. Like you know,
I made the switch.
you
and I ain't-
racist.
Switch several
you phone
times.
racist.
and I ain't going back. But nah, I think that it's an interesting conversation in terms of who gets to say what. Fat Joe is a great example of like somebody who he acknowledges a great deal about how he identifies. And I think that most folks who this new term of Afro Latina has been in the
Latinx.
ethos for the last 2 years.
2 years.
But the same thing is some of these people have been practicing anti-blackness, being like, oh no, I ain't black. I agree
with that.
years.
Like Sammy Sosa, how he
years, that's
turned
true.
pink.
For years.
He changed his skin color.
But how many? But and
Salmon.
it's one thing to highlight your culture, and because Dominican culture is beautiful, they have a whole culture. But what you can't do is say nigga and do the things that we do and identify with us socially, but genetically and ethnically, you're like, nah, they black. I ain't fucking with them. Yada yada yada.
Yeah,
Well,
yo,
that-
I
see,
had
that part-
I had an
Go
experience with that, yo, like an experience with just that. Like it's very similar. So I had an experience where I worked with this gentleman, and he is of African descent. Well, he considers himself South Asian, right? But
What?
his father
I think you told me this.
father was like Trinidad, from Trinidad. Mother
not
was
Asian.
South Asian, considers himself South Asian. Wife is Egyptian, and at a not it wasn't a conference, but during a project,
remember
after
you
a
told me.
meeting, we were out, and he said, "Yeah, I call my wife a sand nigga." Right. So here's why I'm
That's not
offended.
funny. It's fucked
You
up.
don't identify. You do not identify as a
can't-
Black
you can't say that.
American. So
That's
you
fucked up.
calling your wife a sand nigga is extremely disrespectful
On a
because you
couple
don't
levels.
appreciate exactly.
A doom
You don't
coon.
appreciate our culture. You deny being a part of our culture, and then you call somebody a sand nigga in a way that's offensive. So it wasn't even like, oh, like what's up, but that wouldn't have been cool
Nobody
either.
says
But
my
you're
sand
saying
nigga.
it as an offensive term.
Yeah, you trying to be
Sitting in
funny but offensive. At the same
Exactly.
time.
So
But then told Cleveland.
right, exactly.
Yeah, that was
You see what I'm saying? So like it's a similar thing. It's a similar thing with kind of like the colorism aspect. It's like you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And since people in general, or some people in general, tend to hype up the yellow bone concept, oh, I'm gonna jump on it too. Well, nah, like
See, but
you're
that's
on the
thing.
outside looking in. It's not your
Lil
place.
Wayne has said he got a couple lyrics, thick yellow bitch at Dwayne Wade's house. Like,
But
he got
look
a
at
couple
look at Lil Wayne. Like,
he's fucked up. But I'm saying, but if you hear that, that's where you think it's okay.
no,
like,
but
say
this
somebody
is what,
like her.
but this is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying it's okay.
No, it's wrong from jump. Rappers should stop praising racially ambiguous women because those are the ones who aren't really. I can't say that. But when you prop up a certain segment of women over top of the ones that identify just like you have an issue. Like, you really have an issue.
I don't want no more light skin jokes, okay? Since we talking about this shit, I don't
My
want y'all to
fault.
say shit to me about light nothing. Don't call me no moon pie. Don't call me no shit.
Moon
That's
pie,
funny.
my color.
No,
Oh,
what's
Lord.
the other one? The yellow, the banana joints first. Remember the with the marshmallow in it? You know what I'm talking
them
about.
I know what
joints
you're
are
talking
disgusting.
about.
Bananas
There's
are
the
just
same
nasty.
brand, but they got the chocolate one and then the yellow
know
joint.
what
But
you're
don't call me
talking
none of
about.
that shit, okay? But see, for me, it's weird because obviously I'm married to a Latina, so it's
Mhm.
like I used to tell her shit all the time. She never said nothing that she never. I'll be like, yo, you know you black, right? I ain't black, but that's like our little joke in the crib.
Right.
Well, clearly, look how your kids came out. Don't say that's 100% my genetics. Like,
Right.
I didn't 100% do this by myself. And we joke like her uncle was on Thanksgiving. And he asked for some greens. I had made some greens, and she was like, you eat collard greens? And he was like, yeah, we black. What you talking about? Like, that was the ongoing. I was like,
Right.
and me, I'm like, I told you, like, but that's like we know the history. We joke in the house or whatever, but like, see, to me, the reason why is because in my family, we always have colorism. My mom and them hate them jokes. Like, she can't stand when me and my cousins get around each other and we do light, dark jokes. But
Yeah.
this is us. It's like family. Like, if y'all did it, she'd be like, why y'all talking like that? But like, it's family. Like, we know what we talking. We don't mean malicious intent to like
And we
really
also
destroy
know the levels at which Miss Kim can actually be serious. So if
yeah,
it's a
then
joke,
and you might stumble and joke your way into a fucking history lesson and then be mad as hell that you did that shit. Like, why I say that last one?
nah, I'll be listening. I'll be in tune.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, I get it. I would, like you said, I would never personally do that. Like, oh, I'm like I understand how everything they made dark or black has bad kind of black this, black that, Black Friday, fucking black cats, whatever the hell however you want to keep going, where something
Mad
black is always considered, the Black Monday with the stock market crash. They're always trying to pin that shit on us, and they say like, oh, a little white lie or some shit. Like, nigga, it's a lie. You lie, bitch. You lie.
It's a lie.
So I get it, and I know how sometimes they try to throw that. So maybe that's why I don't do that, because I understand it. But the ignorance is heavy out in these streets nowadays. Where I don't mean ignorance on purpose, but like even just the lack of knowledge, ignorance.
No, 100%. So, I mean, we done touched on a few things. I wish we could spend more time here. If it's one thing that me and him, I don't have nothing in common with Donald Trump. Nothing.
Just that red hat.
Oh, fuck.
I didn't even think about that. I was just talking about him touching.
It's mad different though.
This episode, this segment of the episode is brought to you by Fauntleroy Brand, FAUNTLEROY.store.
I can't get none. The freaking brand is sold out. I done sold more things for him, and I can't even get one. But shout out to my LB for being successful. That's a good thing.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Basically, learn your fucking history. Stop being a fucking asshole and be better than people. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to take a little pause before I pass to Cleveland, because I don't want him to have to edit my nonsense out in order for him to link to his motivational moment.
And so now the doors of the church open.
Now I'm going to pass out to Cleveland for the motivational moment.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. All right. So today I want to talk about the concept of light work. So for those who aren't familiar,
see, you go with the racist shit again. Some light shit. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Dark work. Brother,
dark work. So the concept of light work. So for those who aren't familiar with the term light work, it is a common phrase used in Black American culture. And essentially how it's used, if you can do something with a level of ease that other people may look at as difficult, or if you can endure something with a level of ease and other people would look at it and say that it's a struggle, they may say something that you're doing or enduring is hard, But then you may reply and say, nah, it's not tough. This is light work. And it's funny because a couple of weeks ago, I had to give a presentation to a group of people where English wasn't their native language. And honestly, I was like a little bit stressed about it at first because I had to work with a translator during the presentation, and I had never done that before. And I was kind of tight because I was like, A, I feel like it's going to slow my pace up, but B, how do I know that what this guy is saying is actually what I just said? So as we started to do the presentation, I realized that all that I needed to do was what I normally did. And then when I would finish talking, he would pick it up and he would do the work for me. So the presentation actually went really well, but I had to learn to trust the translator. So I had to trust what I didn't understand, and what I thought would work against me actually was working for me. And once I learned to trust what I didn't understand, I realized that what I was doing was light work. So a lot of us are going through, have gone through, will go through different situations in life. And when we go through those situations, we may fail to understand why we're going through what we're going through. And we may look at situations as if it's detracting from us, as if it's holding us back, as if it's keeping us down. And especially when those situations are things that you didn't create yourself. It's one thing when you fall into a rut, but you can see the decisions that you made that led to that rut. It's a whole different thing when you fall into a rut and you have no idea how you got here. You're looking at your circumstances, you're looking at that situation that you're sitting in, and you're wondering how you got there. Not only are you wondering how you got there, you're wondering how much you're going to lose based upon the situation that you're in, because you can't see your way out. You don't understand how you got there. You want to say that it's going to work out for your good, but since you don't understand it, you really can't trust that things are going to work out for your good. So when I was thinking about this, I said, why is it that we generally know that most things work out for our benefit, but when we're sitting in that thing, we don't trust it? And what God gave me is we just need a translator for the situation that we're in. So the translation that he gave me is that these 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17, it says, for our light afflictions, which are but for a moment, work for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Now, reason why this is a verse that translates things for us, because when we're going through a situation, we feel like that situation is heavy. But that verse, God translates and says, you say your situation is heavy. I'm telling you that your affliction is light. It's a light affliction. And next we say we feel like our situations last forever. When we're in something and it feels like a struggle and it feels intense, we feel like it will never end. But then God translates it and says your light affliction is but for a moment. And then we also feel like things are working against us. But he said these light afflictions are working for you. But then on the flip side of that, when things finally start going well, we start to feel light. We start to feel like a weight has been released from his shoulders. But then God translates even that, and he says that the light afflictions are but for a moment. They're working for you, but they're building an exceeding weight of glory on you. So that lightness that you feel isn't just because something was lifted. It's also because he's added value to your life through that thing that you experience. And then last but not least, when things finally are in motion and we're kind of coasting and we're cruising, if we could be honest with each other, sometimes it feels like it's temporary, like it won't last. But in that same verse, God is saying, nah, this is eternal. So I am here as a translator today for the motivational moment to let you know that those trials that seem like they are holding you back are actually moving you forward. If it seems like it's pushing you down, it's actually being used to pull you up. If it seems like it's taking away from you, it's actually adding to you. So the trials that you go through can never destroy you. They can only refine you. They can never work against you. They will always end up working for you. As the verse says, for our light afflictions, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So essentially what God is saying in that scripture is what you're going through right now is light work. Now, these two things that seem to be completely opposite can work together in your favor. And some may see it as a conflict. Others may call it a paradox. I just choose to think of it as a juxtaposition.
Just like he said, everything that's good is good and is good. But
it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. And just because she's bad doesn't mean she's bad. It actually means that she's good.
Good to you and good for you. So I'm gonna just tell you this though. with like, damn, God talking about what we going through is light work. What the hell is the hard work? That's the part that got me shook. And then on top of that, you know how you like, oh, it's only for a moment. Like, yo,
It's a
I don't
long
know if
ass
his
moment.
clock is broke. You know, they say he come right on time, but he be on CP time. And I feel
He
like
functions
when you
outside of time, man.
nah, son, when you
That's
be
the
going
hard
through
part.
stuff and you be asking God, he be like, who all there? Like, he don't know if he coming yet. And I be like, yo, my man, like, just come right now, son. Like, pull
Yo,
up.
I feel like life is a series of reframes. You have to consistently reframe as what this situation is either teaching you, what you should be learning, and it kind of provides like a little cover for you to kind of continue to persevere while things are being thrown at you. But
Here's what it is too. I honestly think that the way that God works, everything goes into one bucket. Like if you think about like accounting, like you have income and expenses, right? So you have positive and then you have negative. The negative subtracts from the positive. Expenses subtract from the income. But God really works in one column, and everything is the income column. Everything is the positive column. So anything that you go through, he uses it to push you forward. There's another scripture that says all things work together for good. So that basically lets us know that there is no expense column. It's only an income column. You just have to wait and see how that thing that you experience is going to be turned for your good. Now, that doesn't make it any easier when you're going through it. It can encourage you when you're going through it. It doesn't make it feel any better. But I can honestly say that I've been refined through everything that I've experienced thus far. So he hasn't failed me in that regard at all.
I think that's a good place to wrap up. As we always do each week, before we wrap up, pass it over to Alonzo for the serenity prayer.
Serenity. The serenity prayer. Yes. Well, man, that was heavy. You know, it's definitely gonna get my mind thinking, that my juices flowing and thinking like, dang, am I just BSing and complaining too much? Because like it ain't even all that serious. You know what I mean? But to each his own. You know, some of us make more than what it is, and some of us really are going through some stuff. But maybe that's just a way to motivate us to think outside the box and not lose focus on the task at hand. And with that, losing focus, sometimes when we lose focus, we need to regain focus and say, God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
And with that being said, this was episode
Amen.
30, and we will see y'all next week.
All right.
Peace.